Hello there. As an internationally acclaimed author, I'm often asked, where do you get your ideas from? My answer is simple. The truth is often more outlandish than fiction. I've travelled the world in search of stories, and in this notebook, I've compiled as many as 16 of them. Today, I would like to recount just one. It's a story which, although true, will nevertheless stretch the bounds of human credulity. So sit back and prepare to be unnerved by the tale of the Zorgon Queen.
The town of Flimby in West Cumbria is unremarkable in many ways. Unremarkable because it is so utterly typical of the many former mining communities that cling to this rain-lashed stretch of remote English coastline. The people here are no-nonsense, rugged, hardened to the realities of life through generations of struggle. They have no truck with the unworldly, no time for the mysteries of life. Until, that is, you mention the name of Martha Beaver. You see, in the long hot summer of 1976, this 51-year-old office cleaner was at the centre of a mystery which not only gripped the town, but called upon its residents to fundamentally question the meaning of their place in the universe. Even now, some 40 years later, Martha Beaver still divides Flimby between those who believe and those who don't. At an industrial tribunal in late July of that year, Martha astonished everybody present when she described how she'd been abducted by aliens more than 30 times over a period of 18 months between November 1974 and May 1976. Furthermore, she alleged that on each occasion she was subjected to intimate sex experiments by her captors. The purpose of these experiments, she said, was simple: to see if she was capable of being impregnated by alien seed, thereby enabling her to save the dying Zorgon Federation, whose females had been wiped out by a devastating space plague. Her claims, however, were refuted by her former employers, a local firm called Superbright Contract Cleaning Limited. According to them, Martha Beaver was in fact a malingerer who had been sacked for serial absenteeism over that same 18-month period. Inevitably, it boiled down to a case of their word against Martha's, each as compelling as the other. When a surveillance film was shown to the tribunal, allegedly showing Martha drinking super-strength cider and sunbathing in the garden of her council house when she should have been at work, she claimed that on the day in question, she had in fact been substituted by a cyborg replicant that required UV rays from the sun for power. The cider, she added, was lubricating fluid, necessary to protect the machine from the effects of the Earth's atmosphere. While that thing was down there on my sunbed pretending to be me, she told the tribunal, I was up in the mothership, getting bowling balled by a 16-foot Zorgon with 3 cocks. In a hearing lasting less than 12 minutes, Martha Beaver's appeal for wrongful dismissal was rejected, and her claim for £500,000 compensation thrown out. And there you might think the story ends. Just another sordid tale of a work-shy chancer stretching the bounds of credulity to con her employer and exceeding them. Except 2 nights later, Martha Beaver disappeared, having last been seen leaving a public house near her home in the early hours of July the 28th, 1976. According to local residents, a number of bright lights were seen in the sky over Flimby at the same time. There have been many explanations for this: aircraft, the aurora borealis, a uranium leak from the nearby Windscale nuclear power station. None were ever substantiated. What we do know is that an extensive police search failed to find any trace of Martha Beaver, other than scorch marks in the car park and a pair of leisure trousers covered in green slime.
Martha Beaver was never found, and 3 months later a sinkhole opened up in the centre of Flimby, and everyone involved in this story was consumed. The government blamed mining subsidence, but then they would, wouldn't they? Until next time, stay safe, enjoy Bank Holiday Monday, and keep checking the skies.